Welcome back, folks, and today on Callahan's Garage we're doing something a little different. We are going on a quest for some car parts. So let's go.
Hey, I'm Callahan. Welcome to Callahan's Garage.
Alright, folks, welcome back to Callahan's Garage. My name's Callahan. Like I said, today we are on a quest for some car parts. So today is going to be kind of phase one of us gathering up some parts for our Hearse build. So like I said, in the Hearse video, if you haven't seen that, please go check it out. So we're going to do air ride and everything on the Hearse. So we're going to start gathering up some parts to do all the air suspension. So a lot of the commercial platform cars have leaf spring rear ends. Whereas like on my silver Cadillac, it's got a factory 4-link, so doing the air ride on it is, very straightforward. Take this spring out, put the air spring in, super easy install. On the Hearse, however, with that leaf spring rear end, it's going to be a little more, involved. So basically what we're going to do is I found a guy on Facebook Marketplace that's parting out a 75 Coupe de Ville, which, like my silver car, has a factory 4-link rear end. So we're going to go and we're going to pull out that 4-link rear end, and that's going to give us a nice, easy starting point for our air ride build on the Hearse. So we're going to get the complete rear end, we're going to get all the link bars, we're going to get everything to start putting that rear end into the Hearse and get all of our 4-link stuff mocked up and start figuring all that out. So let's go. Alrighty, folks, well, we are on the highway. We get the hammer down, headed north to Ringgold, Georgia. So about an hour, further up into the hills of North Georgia to go get this thing. So I just talked to the guy, we're about an hour away. We're going into the level of out there where, he says, well, give me a call when you get nearby because the GPS isn't going to be right. So we're going to get on up there, give this guy a shout, and, see if we can't find this place. And after talking to him, it actually sounds like he's got, quite a few Cadillacs up in the woods up here. So, who knows, maybe we'll find something else, see what else he's got. At the very least, we'll walk around and check out some cool old junky cars. Alrighty, folks, well, we got us a Cadillac rear end all loaded up. We even found some Volkswagen parts up in here. So we're headed back home. We'll get back to the house. We'll pull all this stuff out, take a look at it, see what all we got. Alright, well, we're home. We got our rear end here. I'm going to get this thing unloaded out of the truck, and then we'll talk about why we went and got this thing, why we actually needed this for the Hearse project. Alright, well, Well, here it is in all of its crusty glory, straight out of the dirt from a nice family junkyard. So super cool, folks. Really nice family. Basically, kind of the story is, it's just like a family junkyard where the grandfather and the father have, just like collected stuff and bought and sold and parted stuff out over the years. So there's like, 4 or 5 acres of just cars as far as you can see. And they got, a surprisingly large number of old, 70s era Cadillacs. So, luckily they had exactly what I needed. They even pulled it out for me and everything. It was super painless process. I just got to walk around and look at all the cool stuff, before we loaded the axle up. So you may be asking yourself, Callahan, why do you need a crusty old axle to put in your hearse that runs and drives and has a perfectly good functioning rear axle in it? And that's a good question, but the reason is our air ride. So on the Hearse and a lot of old American cars, they just have straight axle leaf spring rear ends. Whereas on, some of the other Cadillacs, they came with factory 4-link rear ends. So, we get the coil spring in the rear, we get the nice gushy ride, that's all the Cadillacs are known for. That's the, the pinnacle of luxury for back in the day. But also, when we're talking about doing an air ride, having a 4-link rear end is kind of the only way to go when we're talking about, replacing a leaf spring rear end. And on a car like this, we don't really have the option of doing like a parallel 4-link just because of the floor and, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of in the way. So we end up having to do a triangulated 4-link, which is exactly what the DeVilles and the other Cadillac cars came with from the factory. So picking up a factory 4-link rear end is just going to make this a lot easier. So we already have all of the bracketry and everything for all of our link mounts. We don't have to do any fab work for that, which is going to make this way easier. And actually, before I sold the silver car, I took a bunch of measurements, did a bunch of looking at the underneath of it and the Hearse. And actually, the front mount for our lower link bar appears to be exactly the same as the front mount for our leaf springs. So, with the exception of the upper mount for our link bars on the top, this should mostly bolt in. So, we won't really have to do a lot of guesswork on getting this axle in. We'll be able to bolt up the lower links, bolt the top links in place, and that'll show me exactly where my mounts for the top link bars need to go. And then really all I'll have to do is make my upper bag mounts, and this thing will be, relatively easy to fab up into the back of the Hearse. So, that's the main reason, is just to really streamline and simplify the whole fabrication process of the rear air ride for the car. So, we're going to get this thing sandblasted, painted, cleaned up, the whole deal. We'll probably go ahead and throw disc brakes on it before we put it into the car. Get this thing done up as nice as we can, and then we'll start putting air ride on. So, I've got air ride stuff coming for the Cadillac soon. We're going to pick out some wheels, which I'm still up in the air on. So, in the near future, we'll have a lot of stuff happening on the Hearse. So, stay tuned for that. But bonus content, as you could see in some of the pictures from the junkyard area, they had some Volkswagens and stuff. So, we were able to scoop up a couple of little Volkswagen parts. So, let's go take a look at what we got. So, just so happened, roll up into the place, start talking with the guy and say, hey, you got any Volkswagens around here? And he's like, actually, we have a couple. So they had, a Mark II Golf, 4-door Golf sitting back in the woods, a little, rusted, wrecked, really not worth saving anything, really low trim level cars, so not much there. But they also had a really cool old 4-door Rabbit, maybe like 77, 78, something like that. So got a couple of cool parts off of it, got our 4-door vent shades, always cool to have. Decent looking early grill, no broken tabs or anything. Got the headlight pieces too. Got the ever so coveted manual hood latch. Couple of early, lower core support grills. And a really nice looking set of chrome flag mirrors. So, overall, total win for the day. Was able to scoop all this stuff up for a really good deal. Unfortunately, the car is way beyond saving, just super rusted out. But really cool, really highly optioned car, for the time period. So we got some really cool parts today, got exactly what we needed for the Hearse, and we're gonna start working on that thing real soon, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.